Hi guys, German Prepper here. In this video I have some remarkable Russian propaganda translated for you. It is so insightful and relevant to the current state of European and Western crisis we are prepping for that I would go so far as to call it Psyops. That is, the author is using intelligence, interpersonal skills and cultural sensitivity in such a way as to potentially sway the opinions and actions of foreign governments, groups and indeed individuals. Dmitry Medvedev, arguably the second most powerful man in Russia, has yet again provided this piece. Applaud him for his candidness and political astuteness, or hate him as a leader of the invading Russian war machine, it is well worth hearing what he has to say so that we might consider how to prep accordingly. You will never hear this anywhere else, guys. Listen all the way through, as it is most unreal in its insights. Sociology of the masses against the politics of idiots. Who wins? The governments of European states, especially the impoverished Balts, the rabid Poles and the Finns fleeing to NATO, are competing to see who will speak more angrily about their desire to break off all relations with Russia. Literally, we despise the Russians and do not want to let them go anywhere. Cancel visas, forget books, unsee pictures, unhear the music. Gas and oil, we will not take. Although no, the latter is more difficult, especially in anticipation of a cold winter. But for now, all European politicians are trying to stay in tune. No ties with the Russians, from now on and forever. But ordinary citizens, judging by the results of opinion polls, have not lost common sense. More than half of the inhabitants of the EU countries are not at all eager to break contacts with Russia. They want a full-fledged relationship, as it was before. Normal personal contacts, Russian energy resources in boiler houses, our market for their products, successful trade, our tourists in their museums and cafes. Their brains, of course, are notably littered, but there is a limit to the pressure of feces in a propaganda fanpipe. Further, the public consciousness begins to suffocate in the miasma of cynical lies pouring in a fetid stream on the heads of tired Europeans. When, as according to Orwell, the cold in the batteries is the warmth of European solidarity, and the rise in prices in grocery stores is the minimum price to pay for the preservation of European democracy, which can die from asphyxia in the arms of a Russian bear. From 3/4 to 90% of EU citizens categorically do not want to participate in hostilities on the side of the Kiev regime. Although, judging by the sociological survey, this is still not ruled out by moronic European politicians. And anti-Russian sanctions, also according to polls, are not ready to support more than half, and in some states even 2/3 of their inhabitants. Moreover, support is offered purely at your own personal expense. Moreover, all this nonsense, from saving on cremation of bodies to washing toilet paper in order to punish the distant, dense Russia, which did not harm any of the EU citizens with its operation in Ukraine. And the inhabitant finally begins to think, why should he pay for other people's sins? Of course, we want peaceful cooperation, trade, exchanges and other things that are normal for all things. We do not close ourselves off from anyone. We support any sensible proposals. True, in turn, we would like to see how the citizens of Europe not only express quiet dissatisfaction with the actions of their governments, but also say something more intelligible. For example, they call them to account, punishing them for their obvious stupidity. Especially if the payment for European democracy is cold in apartments and empty shelves in refrigerators. Such democracy is for the insane. That is why 4 cabinets of ministers in Europe have already resigned in a short time. That's where they go. And this is clearly not the end. The votes of the voters are a powerful lever of influence even on the most frost-bitten politicians. So act, European neighbours. Do not be silent. Call your fools to account. And we will hear you. The benefit is obvious. In the winter, in the company of Russia, it is much warmer and more comfortable than in splendid isolation with the gas stove turned off and the battery cold. There we are, guys. A question for you all now to end. Is it wrong to hear Russian propaganda and think there is altogether rather too much truth to it for comfort? As always, looking forward to reading your answers. Keep repping, guys. Cheers for now.